Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to have a go. And here is Wilfred Pickles.
Ladies and gentlemen of Ramsbottom, how do? How are you? Yes, we're back once again with Have a Go. And to bring us back, we've come to Ramsbottom. And you can't go further back than that. Now, Ramsbottom is an industrial town which lies between Manchester and Burnley, and its chief industries are cotton and woolen spinning and weaving. Ramsbottom. I know its other name as well. Now, it's a very, very prosperous little town, is this. Everybody in this district has got tons of money. Particularly them that live at Walmsley-cum-Shuttleworth. I'm not joking. I knew a fellow who lived at Walmsley-cum-Shuttleworth. He made a fortune. He bought himself a big house out at Stubbins. And his proudest possession was a big oil painting for which he paid £1,000. So a pal came to see him one day, and looking at this huge picture, he said, "Joe," he said, "that's been done." He said, "This picture isn't genuine." He said, "Isn't genuine? Thee put the shoulder under it and try and lift it. They'll soon change their tune." Well, the competitors have just come onto the stage, and this hall in Ramsbottom is crowded to capacity. And when I arrived here this evening, the first thing that was handed to me was the printed words of this lovely song. A song which says, "Welcome to the County Palatine." That welcome, Wilf, that welcome, give us the hand, oh chum. Sit thee down and drope at fire, just make thyself a one. There's luck and there's health, there's joy and there's wealth, if ever that pass in this way. We shall allus be glad to see thee, old lad, that as welcome as flowers he may.
How do you do, Wilfred?
And that brings our first personality to the microphone, and she's a very charming lady with nice grey hair and a very nice grey frock. It's very nice to have you here. Yes. Will you tell me your name?
Mrs. Florence Holt.
Mrs. Florence?
Yes.
Have a go, Flo. Mrs. Florence Holt. And where do you live?
Shuttleworth.
Oh, you live in Shuttleworth, do
yes.
you? Now then. Well, now then, I know your missus, you said, didn't you?
Yes.
I know that a lot of women in this part of Lancashire, and indeed all of Lancashire, do go out to work as well as being housewives.
Yes.
Do you do a job too?
Yes, I'm a bus conductress.
Are you?
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
12 years.
Really?
Yes.
Well, tell me what where does your bus go to?
Bury to Rothenstall, and then we have a little country run, Ramsbottom to Shuttleworth. And when we get to the terminus, there's a pub at the end called the Duck of Arms.
Is there? And that's where you change your trolley?
No, that's... We have none of them now, we've only indicators.
Well, now, how do you manage Florrie? Do they call it Florrie?
Yes,
Florence?
yes, Florrie.
Well, how do you manage to do your housework as well as do a job of work like that?
Well, you see, my hubby works on the buses, and 1 week he's on earlies and I'm on late, so we switch over, kind of thing.
Sort of 50-50,
yeah,
eh?
Yeah.
That's good. And you've heard me in Have a Go before, asked
yes.
Sort of all sorts of questions. Let's take one out of the blue and say, is there anything particularly special that you like to eat, Florrie?
Steak and onions.
Well, that's not so bad, is it?
No.
You've a lot at stake tonight, and my name's Pickles.
Yeah.
What about... Now, if you work on a bus, love, you meet a lot of people, don't you?
Yes.
Well, any sort of embarrassing moments?
Oh. Yes, I have a lot. For one, for instance, during the cold weather, an old lady gets on the bus and she says to me, "Aren't you not cold? That's about pants." I says, "I have some on." She said, "No, I mean them long guns." I says, "Oh, no, I can't fancy myself in then. She says, well, I'll tell thee what they wants to do. She says they wants to get some comms. She says they go out here and in there, then they cover your hips up, and then bottom it tightens up and you tuck that in top of your stocking.
Not bad advice, either.
No, it isn't.
And have you a sort of a dislike? Well, as you meet a lot of people, shall I say, have you got a dislike, Florrie, about people?
Yeah, bad manners. Children sitting in the bus when adults are stood up.
Very good. Did you tick them off for that, do you?
Yes, I tried to tell them.
It's like that conductor like you were, that was on his bus, and the pal went up to him and said, there's an old lady standing. He said, I hate to see an old lady standing, don't you? We said, I will chuck her off at the next stop. Have you ever longed, Florrie, to say anything to anybody and you just, you said, I daren't do it, but I'd like to?
Yeah. Tell Philip Dobson where to put his duty sheets.
Well, I would say, in fairness to our listeners, we should really know who Philip Dobson is.
He's our inspector.
Oh, I see. I never asked you.
No.
Flo, have you any family?
Daughter, 22.
Oh, very nice, too.
Yeah.
Is she courting?
Yes.
Is she?
Yeah.
Right. Well, now, it's very nice having you, Florrie. And I might tell you, we're very happy to be here in Ramsbottom.
Yes.
And when we arrived here, the policeman outside, when I arrived, he said, I said, we're right glad to have you here tonight. He said, this is the most exciting thing that's happened in Ramsbottom since they put the traffic lights in. So we've got to give you some tune titles. That'll be all right for you. You'll guess them, Florrie.
Yes,
now,
that's all right.
Harry Hudson will play them, and here's number one, Harry. Number one, and they're all animals. Off we go.
Teddy bear's picnic.
You're dead right. Half a crown, Mabel. And for 5 shillings, here's another animal. Listen.
Horsey, keep your
You're
tail
dead
on.
right. 5 more. And here we go with tune number 3.
Big bad wolf.
Yes, you're so right. And here is the last question, which makes 38 and 6pence in all. Listen.
Run, Abby, run.
Yeah, dead right. And that brings to the microphone, ladies and gentlemen listening, wherever you are, that big reception for a young fellow. Indeed, he's very young, a very hefty young chap, too. Standing by my side, he makes me look extremely small. Will you tell me your name?
John Pendlebury.
John?
Pendlebury.
John Pendlebury. Whereabouts do you live, John?
Oh, I live at Holcombe Brook.
Oh, that's where they have the famous Holcombe Hunt.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And do you know anything about the Holcombe Hunt?
Well, not very much, no. It comes past our place once or twice, but...
You don't know, for instance, that King James I was supposed to have hunted with the Holcombe Hunt?
No, I don't, no.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yes. Just after he'd knighted the loin of beef at Halton Towers. Oh, and John, what's your job?
Well, I'm a librarian.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Which library are you in?
Well, it's the John Rylands Library in Manchester.
Well, that's a very famous library in
Yes,
Deansgate,
yes,
isn't it?
That's right, yes.
Librarian. That's where they only allow low conversation, isn't it? And,
What sort of library?
are you courting, John?
Oh, definitely not, no.
You're not very old anyway, are you?
No, not yet.
How old are you?
Plenty of time. 16.
Oh, well. What made you go in for wanting to be a librarian?
Well, I don't know. I saw the advert in the Manchester paper, and
I mean, your father isn't connected with it in any way.
No, he's not.
You're the only one in the
No,
family?
That's right, yes.
Well, now, we'll imagine, John. Now, you're a young fella. You're 16, you said.
Yes.
Now, you could go into Parliament and you could ask a question.
Yeah.
Now, what would you ask them?
When are they going to take cheese off the ration?
You're very fond of cheese,
Oh,
are
yes,
you?
I love it, yes.
I think you'll start courting and get that cheese about the same time. What sort of cheese do you like best?
Oh, Lancashire and Cheshire, they all...
I think you're a good judge. Now, here's another question to ask and have a go, and I'll ask it to you quite out of the blue, John.
Yes.
Do you think, should the husband or the wife make the early morning tea?
Well, neither of them. They should wait till breakfast time, that's what I say.
Now, you'll imagine, John,
Yeah.
you're a smart young fella, if you were the question master, and you are asking me, Wilfred Pickles, you'll say to me, like, what question would you ask me?
Well, what the heck made you start have a go?
Well, I don't know, really. I've no need to do it, you know.
No, just like the money.
Well, I could always starve to death.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as a young fellow, what qualifications would you expect to find, would you say, John, in the perfect wife?
Well, I don't know. I haven't had one yet.
Well, it's not a bad answer, and jolly good luck to you. And what do you hope to become one day? A librarian of some...
Yes, professional librarian. Yes.
At any town you couldn't care less?
Oh, no, I'm not bothered.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you some questions now, John, on proverbs. And it says you sort of answer the proverb by me giving you a lead to it. And the first question says, for half a crown, how should you cut your coat?
Oh, as a cloth allows, is it?
Well,
Oh, to the cloth.
How should you cut your coat? You cut your coat... Well, all right, it's near enough. It's according to your cloth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Half a crown, Mabel. Give him half a crown. He's doing very nicely. It'll hold him to get a bit more cheese. And what would you say, John? They say, what kind of news is good news?
No news.
Ah, dead right, 5 bob. Now, can you complete this? And you should do, because you said you're not courting.
Yeah.
Faint heart, what? Faint heart, never worked at Ryland's library.
No.
Faint heart, never what? You don't know?
No.
Oh, by Jove, he doesn't know. I think you better give him 10 bob for not knowing, Mabel. It's faint heart, never won fair lady.
Oh.
Did you know that before?
No, I didn't know that one.
You want to look it up? Now, what proverb is suggested by the following? Those ears which are not large possess organs of hearing which are not small.
Well, it says there that little pictures have big ears.
That's dead right, too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listening at home, you'll probably wonder why there should be such an enormous round of applause. But I did say to Mr. Bellis, who is the town clerk of Ramsbottom, that I would rather like to meet the oldest lady here. And he found her for me, and here she is. And your name is what, love?
Taylor, Alice. Mrs. Taylor.
Mrs. Taylor. Well, come a bit closer, love, and let everybody hear what you've got to say. That's the way.
I don't...
Now, tell us how old you are, will you?
94.
And I might tell you that she looks very smart. She's lovely silver grey hair and a very nice coat on and some very nice beads round her neck. And Mrs. Taylor, were you born in Ramsbottom?
Yes, I was.
And how old were you when you started work?
I hadn't got 9 years old.
And what did you do?
I went in the spinning room. Well, I went to learn weaving. And then they told me I was too little, I couldn't lean over.
And go on.
Pardon?
Go on, you talk.
So I thought I was too little to weave. I'd go and try the spinning. So I went in the spinning room in the mill.
And how long did you work there, Mrs. Taylor?
Well, I couldn't tell how long I worked at that mill.
No, but I mean, how long did you work altogether?
Well, I was out a few years housekeeping.
Aye.
And then I went back to the mill. And then I came out of the mill when I was 81.
What do you like to eat, best of all, Mrs. Taylor?
Eat?
Aye.
Well, there's several things, and there's several things I cannot eat. But I like a bit of bread and butter. And I like a bit of beetroot to it. And sometimes I like a pickled onion.
And do you ever like a little drink?
Well, no, I don't have that. Only sometimes I'm forced to have a drop of whiskey.
And you enjoy it?
Yes,
And now then, Mrs. Taylor, you're 94, aren't you?
yes.
do you consider that the old age pensions that people like you are getting are enough to manage on?
No, it isn't.
And how much do you think they ought to be then?
Oh, well, it's £2.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Mabel. We'll help that old age pension. Give her the money. She's arrived. Oh, she's here. And she's beautiful. Come on, love. She's lovely black hair. Lovely brown eyes. Like velvet poles. Not football poles. And she's got a mustard-coloured sweater on. I think she'd win a beauty competition with a smog mask on. She's a Bobby Dazzler. What's your name, love?
Maureen Dixon.
Maureen? All right, Maureen. Maureen Dixon, D-I-X-O-N, eh?
Yes.
And do you live in Ramsbottom?
No, I live at Somerset.
Somerset. Somerset, Ramsbottom. And how old are you, Maureen?
19.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Come a bit closer, love. And what's your job?
I'm a spotter in a shoe factory.
You're a what, love?
Spotter
A
in
spotter,
a shoe
are you?
factory.
Oh, yeah, I'd spot there, no. And what do you do?
Well, I put heels in shoes and put them over and bang them down.
Do you? Yeah. Nice. Are you courting?
Yeah.
You're not. Hey, I say, cheeky monkey. What's his name, love?
Ken.
Ken. Is he here tonight?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Don't get jealous, Ken. I'm old enough to be a father. Well, now then, Maureen, you're a very, very pretty girl. And tell me, looking back on life, and you've heard me ask this question many a time, what's the sort of funniest thing that makes you laugh every time you think of it? Some incident that happened in your life.
Oh, well, I used to help my Uncle Harry in his shop, and one day I was sat in and a lady came in and she said, can I have a tin of operated milk? Some operated milk? She says, yes, operated milk, you know, that there. I says, well, we've consecrated it, that's any good to you.
Have you ever longed, now you must have, you're 19, have you ever longed to sort of say anything to anybody and you just daren't do it? Something that irritates you about people?
Oh, something that irritates me when I'm in the pictures and it's getting near the end of the picture, you know, and you can tell. Well, everybody starts getting up and walking out and you can't see and you're like this and you feel like saying, oh, sit down.
There you go. And, do you ever get the urge to do anything unconventional? You know, I mean, I'd love to kick a shop window through. Do you ever get a feeling like that?
Yes, I'd like to get eggs and squash them in my hand.
What's it?
That's
Now,
a deal, though.
we'll imagine that you're going to bed at night and you say, oh, I have enjoyed myself tonight. Now, what would you have been doing?
Dancing at Winter Gardens, Blackpool.
Oh, hey, I say, that takes me back a bit. You know when you're on, isn't it marvellous on, you know, Saturday night, you know, when you start clicking, eh? And then you say to her, would you like a small drink? She says, yes, a small port and follow me out. Now then, love, do you go to the pictures?
Yes.
Right, well now, you say you don't like people setting up in the pictures. Now, I'm going to give you 8 well-known film stars with unusual Christian names, and I give you the surname, then you'll give me the Christian name, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Maureen? Right. Well, I will say to you, I'll give you the surname, Garson.
Greer.
Right, and Rogers.
Ginger.
Half a crown, Mabel. Right, now, Loy.
Myrna.
Bacall.
Lauren.
Clive Bob. Withers.
Googie.
Carr.
Deborah Carr.
Ah, that's it, champion, love, you're doing grand. 38 and 6pence coming up. Hammond.
And
Hammond.
Kay.
Kay, that's right, okay. Johns.
Glynis.
Yeah, dead right, love. And now we welcome to the microphone another young lady. Will you tell me your name?
Evelyn Lawson.
Evelyn?
Lawson.
Evelyn Lawson. And are you Miss or are you Mrs.?
Mrs.
And were you born in Ramsbottom?
Yes.
And have you any family as your missus?
Yes, I have. I've got one little boy.
And how old is he?
9 months old.
Oh, you've not been married very long then?
No, 2 years. It's our wedding anniversary next week.
Is it really? Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hope you have a nice time. Now, if you've been married only 2 years and you've got a little boy, how old did you say?
9 months.
9 months. Well, what would you say, Evelyn, was the sort of happiest moment in your life?
Well, I think the happiest moment in my life, I think it really happened today, Wilfred. He said Mama for the first time.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that nice? What do you call him?
Peter.
Good lad, Peter. And have you got a sort of ambition in life? What do you really want to do?
Well, Wilfred, I think I'd like to get on the BBC if I could.
Would you? Well, it's easy. Just write and tell them you're a makeup expert from Hollywood. They'll have you on next week. Now, you said you want to get on the BBC. As what?
As a singer.
Oh, you do a bit of singing,
Yes.
do you? Right, well, I wish you luck with that. Have you got a dislike about people, Evelyn? Anything, you know, sort of people in general? Anything you dislike? Or are you content with them?
Well, I just don't like two-faced people.
No, that's very good. And when you see the one that they've got, you wonder why they want two, don't you? Now, you know, as a young married woman, I'd like to ask you this question. It's not one that comes usually and have a go, but, you know, this juvenile delinquency we keep hearing about, you know, cosh boys and kids going wrong. Now, you, a young married woman with a child, what do you think's the sort of cause of all this?
Well, I should think that a lot of it begins at home. Parents not having enough control over their children.
Well, what would you do to put that right?
Well, I mean, my little lad's only 9 months old, but if he did anything wrong, I think I should give him a good hiding or something.
Now we're back to Ramsbottom again. I think that's a very good answer. And have you anything at all in life that you could say, Evelyn, oh, I couldn't do that to save my life?
Ooh, couldn't pick a spider up or kill one.
You couldn't?
No.
Why? What sort of, sort of make you shudder or something?
Well, I was once on Holcombe Hill and I was sat in the grass, you know, how you do on Good Friday and times like that. And
I know, love, it's all right.
and there was one crawled up my leg and I couldn't find it. Anyway, when I got back to my sister's, she lives in Holcombe, we went there for our tea, I was sat in the big armchair and I suddenly felt it, you know, crawling up here. And it was still living.
Now, as a young married woman, if you could go into Parliament and ask a question, what do you think you'd ask them? You could ask just one, you know, Evelyn.
Oh, I think I should ask them if they couldn't bring the cost of living down a bit.
And having a husband, you must say, I love you, darling, which you do say very often, but I want you to say, I love you, darling, but. Now, what does that but represent? There must be some little thing about him that irritates you. Is there anything at all about your husband?
Oh, yes. When he's washing himself at the sink, you know, and he's splashing water all over his face like this and it's dripping off his elbows on the floor and I've got to mop it up.
Well, look, for you, Evelyn, there's a jolly good answer. Let's have some tune titles, Harry, OK? And they're old-timers, and let us guess number one. Here we go, and you can join in if you like, ladies and gentlemen. If you guess it, come on, Harry.
Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow.
Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow is right, and now, number two.
There's a long, long
Yes,
trail of...
right, now I'm going to give you a chance now. You said you wanted an audition on the BBC. I'm going to tell you what the fourth question is. I'll ignore the third completely. Mabel, give her the lot for this. And can you sing Just a Song at Twilight? You can? Right, here's your chance, here's your audition.
Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at twilight comes love's years old, sweet song.
All right, thank you very much indeed. And now I bring a lady to the microphone, and I must tell you that she had to be led to the microphone because you can't see very well, can you, love?
No.
Well, will you tell me what's wrong with you?
Well, I have cataracts growing.
Oh, what's going to happen then?
Well, as they get higher up, they'll get taken off, operation.
You'll have an operation?
Yes,
well, I hope it'll be
right.
very successful.
So do
for you.
I. We're living in homes.
That's right. She's a nice lady. She's lovely grey hair. Tell me your name, will you?
Marion.
Marion, wait a minute.
Marion Blundell.
Marion Blundell. Is that spelled with 2 L's at the end, isn't
Yes.
it? All right. And are you Missy or Mrs., are you?
Oh, I'm Mrs.
And were you born in Ramsbottom?
No, I was born in Haslingden.
Well, that's not so far away, is it,
No,
love?
it was grand.
And what about a family, if you're Mrs.?
Well, I've 6 daughters and 1 son. I had, but one of the sons died and 1 daughter's died.
And have you any grandchildren?
Yes, I've 7 grandsons and 7 granddaughters.
Well, and what about your husband? Just you and him at home now?
No. He died in 1929 and left me with 6 children to bring up.
Oh, you've had a struggle, haven't you?
I have, but I'm still here.
And tell me what you did. Tell me how you managed to bring the
Well,
family up.
I worked on the railway for the 24 years and went out cleaning different places. I hadn't really time to do anything, only just work night and day. I put my Wellingtons were at the bottom of my bed, side of my bed. I used to get in them at morning.
You've had a hard life, haven't you?
It was terrible.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, that gong just warns us that it's time now for the jackpot question, so, Mabel, come on, give her the money. That's it. And so we come to the jackpot question. How much money in the jackpot tonight, Steve?
27 and 4pence halfpenny and a smog mask.
Honest. Would you, Billy? This is the first week he's been with us and he's dafter than me and Barney. All right, now, are the competitors all got it down? Have they got pencils and paper? Will you put your names at the top of the paper first, everybody? Put your names at the top of the paper, and it's a very simple question. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, you won't shout out if you know the answer, will you? Because here it is, for 27 and 4pence halfpenny and a smog mask. Are you ready? What is the opposite of not in? What is the opposite of not in? Now. Yes, and we've got the right answer from Mrs. Holt. Mrs. Florence Holt, the conductor. And the opposite of not in is, of course, in. Have you got the money, love?
Yes, sir.
Well, jolly good luck to you. I'm bust tomorrow. And watch your trolley, whatever else you do. And so we come to the end of this week's Have a Go, which came to you from Ramsbottom in Lancashire. We shall be with you again next week with another spot of homely fun, presenting the people to the people. So until then, this is your old pal, Wilfred Pickles, wishing you all good luck, good night, and cheerio, Ramsbottom! Cheerio!